So I thought, it's been a little while since I did a video, and last week was Shetland Wool week, so it was a very busy week for me, obviously working in Jefferson Smith, but I also managed to accumulate some stuff. So I thought I would just show you some of the stuff I've got. Obviously first thing is what I'm wearing, which is this year's merchandise for Shetland Wool week. Now, I love a bit of merchandise. I don't think you can go wrong. And the Shetland Wool week merchandise is pretty good. And they get, it's a lady who is originally from Shetland, and she's like a printmaker, and this year and last year they've gotten her to do the kind of design for the merchandise, and this year it's like a Fera jumper on a jumper board, which I think is so good. And this sweatshirt was, they didn't get that many made, I don't think, but when I saw this I was like, oh my god. So Wool week started on the Saturday and we were working obviously, and then at lunchtime I went down to the museum, which was where the hub was. Shetland Wool week hub is like in the museum, and it's where you can like go and hang out and everything. So they had all the merchandise in the shop, and I may have purchased one of everything. There's a couple things not in here because I've worn them and I don't know where they are, but the first thing is the bag, which is like a really good thick canvas bag, and I love canvas bags. I probably have like a 50 or something, but they're my favourite thing to buy. If I am anywhere and they have a bag, I usually buy it. So I love this because it's like half of the print that's on the jumper, and I think they had a list thing for people to write their name on about like sizes and stuff that they'd run out of, to see if it was worth them doing another order. So they might have stuff online at some point. But they also had t-shirts, which is like a really nice soft t-shirt, and then they had long sleeve t-shirts in a grey and a navy. I also got the navy one. And then they had these like little bags, little zippy bags for keeping all your knitting stuff in, or whatever you wanted. Love that. Notebooks, big notebook and pretty notebook. And then I think I just got this because I wanted to have everything, but a little pencil that says Wool week with a rubber on the end. So yeah, I got all the merchandise, which I just love. I think it's so good, and it kind of makes you, when you see it again, then you think about like that year's Wool week and everything. So, but I think, yeah, sweatshirt is definitely my favourite. So keeping in with the Wool week theme, I also got, of course, this year's annual, which I have a design in. But yeah, so this is now the third Wool week annual, and it's so good. It's the way it's printed is so nice, and yeah, it just has lots of different designs by kind of Shetland, people who live in Shetland and people who are to do with Shetland, whatever, and then also lots of kind of essays about different things. So like this one has obviously like this year's hat, Gudrun Johnson's Booster Beanie, and then there's also designs by Donna Smith, Terry Malcolmson, that's the cowl that's on the cover, Wilma Malcolmson, O.T. Cater, me, Marie Wallen, Elizabeth Johnson, Di Gilpin, Julia Billins, Jen Arnold Culliford, and Carl Christensen. And yeah, it's just really good. And my pattern, which I did, was a pair of fingerless gloves, mittens, whatever you want to call them, and they're called Tavir, and I knit them in obviously Jefferson Smith Do you like it? And they're just very kind of, they're inspired by kind of traditional fingerless gloves, which in the winter I wear like every day. And this, I think because September was so busy like with Wool Week and everything, that September just feels like it just went past like in a blink, and so I'll definitely be getting out my fingerless gloves. But yeah, so this is them. So you kind of see the tree motif in like on yokes and things, and I've kind of been working on other things which use this motif. And yeah, so the kind of palm side is like quite traditional, the way we have fingerless gloves, which just means that you don't have any long floats. And then the back is obviously this kind of trees, and I used like quite bright colours. Well, like colours I always use, like green and orange and stuff, but I think I'm probably going to make myself a pair in greys. So yeah, this pattern, I will have it like for sale individually, but it'll not be till next year, because when it's in the annual then they have it for a year and then you get it back and you can do whatever you want with it. But yeah, so I'm quite rather pleased with that, and kind of feedback I've had has been very good. So another kind of book publication, which is something that is to do with my work, but I have been involved in it kind of from the beginning, and it's a book which is Jefferson Smith, A Shelton Story. So it's a history of Jefferson Smith and also a pattern book. So we'd been speaking about doing a book for like years. I've worked there for like nearly 6 years, and not even that long after we kind of started speaking about it, and it took us a long time to kind of find all the right people to be involved and all that kind of stuff, and just on top of everything else. But we finally got it done kind of with Wool Week as our kind of aim to have it ready for, and it did arrive in Wool Week, so that was good. But this, if you've ever been to JNS, then you know like the wool store is like the kind of green doors. So that was what we decided to put on the cover, and then you see we have like, oh so good, the different bits of the cover is like shiny and then the photo's matte. But anyway, yeah, so it kind of goes through history, and we got Liam Henderson, who's a local photographer. He did all the pattern photography, and yeah, it just came out so good. And yeah, so there's like 10 designs in the book, which is they're all quite like traditional, but like not old-fashioned at all, I wouldn't say. Like and I think another thing that's quite good about it is like me, Caris and Sandra, who all work in the shop, like all have, Sandra has like multiple designs in the book, me and Caris both have one, and it's just, yeah, like this is Sandra's jumper. It's just, I don't know, so good. And yeah, so we also have like kind of photography by Scott Gowdy, who's he actually used to work in the wool store, and all the kind of landscapey pictures are his. And then I we use like I take a lot of photos for blogs and stuff for work, and so we ended up using a lot of them as well. And so the text was written by Oliver, and then we kind of edited it and added in a lot of photos. And I mean, it is a short history for a company that's like been going since the 1930s, but it's, I think, like short enough that you get a feel for everything, and but still, yeah, it's not too much. But yeah, and then so we got the lady, she's called Nick, who's done quite a lot of the layout for like a lot of Kate Davis books, and so she did the layout. So it's just one of those things that's like you're working on something for so long, and then when it actually comes you can't believe it. But yeah, you can buy this from my work, and we also have like a PDF version of it if you want, but I think it's just, I mean, I love books and love knitting books as well, and yeah, so quite proud of this one. And another book which I got actually just before Wool Week that I have a design in as well is this A Year of Techniques, which is by Jim and Jen Arnold Culliford, and it's a year of techniques. It's it's a different technique for every month, and there's just like so in-depth kind of tutorials and stuff like that, and the pictures and stuff like that's for me, that's how I learn, is either like by watching or like picture tutorials. So I think that makes a big difference. And let me find my pattern. So I did a pair of mittens for this, and yeah, this is them. So again, done in 2 jumper weight, and yeah, so I have, this is like my kind of prototype, which I got back from them when they were up, but they're quite simple. It's got a like a turned over cuff, and this, they actually changed, they like centered the patterns and stuff, which is better. I was kind of having a bit of trouble when I was designing it doing that, so the version kind of, don't look too close at these because the ones in the book are better, and I just did it in greys, but they did it in grey and yellow in the book, which I think is better. So yeah, that we had a kind of launch kind of thing at Wool Week again for that, but it's just lots of good things. Intarsia, other things is there, heel turns, stuff to do with socks, which, you know, I definitely would need to know, garter stitch crafting, just lots of different things, and just a good thing to have, I think, on your bookshelf. And then another book which I got given to me at Wool Week is this book, which is I got it from a lady called Tori, who comes to Wool Week I think every year pretty much. I've seen her, and it's supposed to do with her knitting group. This is one of her designs, and it's not in English, but a lot of it's in charts, so I think you would have no problem kind of knitting from it, and it's just good. It's just a nice another book, and it's hardback and not too big. So yeah, that was another one. So it's called Eventually Water. So that's a book of mittens. And then I also got some of these things is things which got sent like over the week, and one is the new Lane magazine. And I just love the way there's something quite like a vintage about the way they do it all, and it's just like the photographs are amazing, and the patterns are all quite I think it's that kind of thing that they don't all immediately, I don't think like, oh, I need to make that, but I think it's things that you would definitely like to have in your wardrobe. All the jumpers and cardigans and stuff, if I wasn't so lazy and didn't, yeah, like that's a good one. And that's actually not too cabley, maybe I could do that one. But yeah, it's getting bigger kind of every time. There's a lot more adverts and stuff in it, so they're obviously doing well with it, which is good. So I ordered this from I seen like when the patterns came up on Ravelry, but I never really thought about it too much, and then I looked on Ysolda, I think it was the day before it came out or something, and I just ordered it, and it came, ordered it maybe on Thursday and it came on Saturday, so yes, very happy with that. And then if the light keeps going like dark and then bright again, it's because it's raining. Shock horror. And although I spent my week selling wool, I also managed to buy some wool over the week. well actually majority of it on one day. But the two things I got, which is something we've been waiting to come into my work for a while, which is this Croft Shetland tweed yarn, which we've done like in conjunction with West Yorkshire Spinners, which is a yarn company based in Yorkshire, obviously. And so they bought a lot of raw wool from Jefferson Smith and have used it in this yarn, which comes in 8 colours, and it's very like well, it's totally different from everything that we do at Jefferson Smith, and it's like speckled. So there's 8 colours, and there's about 3 or 4 like pink, purple, which is just not my kind of thing. But there's this one which actually is like got purple. It is purple speckles in it, but it's like purpley grey speckles, so I can kind of deal with it. And then so this one is called Clusta. So they're all named after places in Shelton, which is quite nice. And I love like the kind of branding and stuff on it. It's good. And then this one, which was my kind of initial favourite one, which is like orange, blue, green speckles, very nice, is called Stony Brick. So really I'm just waiting to find the right thing to make with it. I think if you did too much texture it would be totally lost and you wouldn't see it, so it needs to be something quite plain. But yeah, I'm just not sure yet, but I think it's really nice and it's just totally different, which is good. Yeah, and then so on Saturday they have the makers market for Wool Week, which is like different people selling stuff, and something which I was working again, but I had to go out to take photos of something else, so I just thought I would just snip over to Aylesborough and have a little look at the makers market. And it wasn't that long after it opened, it was absolutely pinned, like you could hardly move. But what I definitely wanted to get was the new yarn by Donna Smith, which again, she had a tote bag in grey, and I love her logo. So it's called Langsund, and it's from Sheep, from her like family craft, and she's gotten it spun, and it's just natural colours, and I bought one of each. So I know she was going to sell, I think, like what she had left over, so if there is any details I'll put it down below, but she will be updating people. But yeah, it's 4 natural colours, so there's 2 greys, which are quite similar but still different enough, I think, that you couldn't do something that was like 2 colour with them, but they'd be nice for shading. And then there's also a white, so like those 3 actually. And then also this one, which is kind of like a grey brown, but yeah, just so good. And it's like it's a DK weight. There's, let's see, double knit in 220 meters, 238 yards per 100 gram. So I don't know, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but it's very like sheepy, just like good Shetland wool, which obviously I'm into. And natural colours, I just think you just can't go wrong. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do something. But Donna said there was somebody who had bought this to make my Vatsland jumper, which sounds delightful. So I hope whoever did that do that and send me pictures. And what else I got? Okay, so when I was just coming in the door, there was quite a few ladies from Iceland that were here for Wool Week, and there was ones that had some yarn to sell, and they were just like outside the door, and I obviously can't read Icelandic or anything, but they had wool which was cheap and very nice. I kind of think it's kind of a random choice of colours, but I'm just like really, I just dig like peachy, apricot, orange with grey. I think it's just, but this grey I think is so nice because it's like very it's just good. It's just good. I would need to kind of 50 grams have it, but I don't know. Eingermeat, so I think it would be like einband, just kind of like jumper weight thickness. I need to look more into it, but I just, it was like, these ones were I think £8, this was £5, the natural ones were £5, but just good. And then I also got from Wool and Flower, which is Jules, these two, which one of them didn't have a tag, but it's the same as this, but it's just, it's like jumper weight, which I think is from, they get from Uradell, it's from Uradell farm, and this one is dyed with avocado pips, but she has a design in the annual. Let me find it, which I might use this for, I might not, but it just uses jumper weight, so, but aren't they nice? It's like Shelton lace at a like manageable amount and a bit of garter stitch, and yeah, just kind of dig it. So I could use this. Oh, I think that would be nice. I think that would be nice, because I was thinking like a hat or something, but I just, it'd be nice to do something kind of, it's dyed by her and do her pattern. I think that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, that's kind of stuff I bought, I think, yeah, over Wool Week. And then I also have a couple things. Oh, so this was, I am friends with somebody who works at Shetland Soap Company, and a couple of weeks before Wool Week she messaged me about, they were wanting to launch a new wool wash and just wanted me to like try it out and everything. So I said yeah, and I tried it out and it was very nice. And so just before Wool Week Rona came and gave me 2 bottles of it, one for a giveaway, which I did on Instagram, which the lady who won it sent me a message last night that it had arrived in California, so that was good. And but yeah, so this is it. So this is the Shetland Soap Company wool wash, and yeah, I'll see that Shetland Soap Company have developed an extremely mild wool wash ideal for Shetland knitwear. We use lavender essential oil for a fresh, gentle fragrance and to naturally repel moths. We do not use any harsh ingredients to damage or shrink your items. Luxury wool wash ideal for woolen, silk and fine fabrics. Free from bleach, phosphates, parabens and enzymes, making it gentle on your hands, skin and clothes. And I love wool wash. I have like the twig and horn stuff, which is kinda, has got lanolin in it. And this is just like, it just smells really nice. And what I like is ones that you don't have to wash out, but which that isn't what this is, but because it's so mild, it doesn't take a lot to get it out. You just kind of just put through water once, and even if you left a little bit in, it's not gonna really hurt it because it's kind of just lavender and nice. But you can, I don't know if they have it online yet, but they definitely had it. It was just in the shop, I know, last week, but if there's anything, I'll put it online. But it's, yeah, and it's a local company which kind of supports people with learning difficulties, and they just make really nice soap, and like, why not use something that's local? So I was very happy with that. And then one other thing which I got was more of a kind of, oh no, I can't really say it was an impulse buy because I knew about it and went on as soon as it launched. But I wear like snoods, circle scarves all the time. And then I seen on Instagram, Twitter maybe, I don't know, and then that Kate Davis was doing snoods. So I as soon as it went online, then I went on and I bought one. And if you kind of know her designs, this is like the motif from the collar heron hat, which I did start and I never got finished. But they're just, she did like a really good blog post about the company she got to make them, and it's just really nice. They had a couple of different, I can't remember, there was just 2 designs or more, but it's like the motif from the collared heron and then from the apostrophe cardigan. So, but I think, yeah, it's done in, they're done in lamb's wool, and it's just really soft, and they are sewn in the middle, but look how good that seam is. Like the pattern just keeps going. And I think if you've ever knit any of Kate's designs, then like she has such a good like attention to detail, and this is like no different, even though it's kind of like a more mass produced, but not mass produced at all. And yeah, it has pretty labels that she put on that you can cut them off or whatever if you want. And yeah, it's just nice. And it came in a little project bag, which of course, because I buy things from Kate often, I already have a couple of these, but never mind. I can't remember about anything else to tell you. Oh yeah, I had just kind of like speaking about Wool Wiki stuff, the pattern which I had in last year's annual, which were actually on the cover, is my Crafty Smiths. So they are now available as an individual pattern. You can buy them on Ravelry. I put them up last week. I have slightly changed the pattern which I published. I put in a couple more plain rows after the rib because I know not everybody's hands are as small as mine, and there was a couple of people who said that they just added some plain rows, so I have done that for the pattern which is on Ravelry. But yeah, they're just, I mean, they kind of, yeah, because you can see these are pretty bit longer, but they're just like a good thing. They don't take you long. I do have individual fingers on them, which I know some people find a bit daunting, but it's really not. And if I can do it, then you can do it, because I'm really not that technically minded. I think that was everything. So you can I'm pretty sure you can still order the annual, you can order this. Yeah, I think it's just makes you feel really good when you see designs that you've done kind of in books and magazines. It makes you feel good, you know. And I have something which I don't have a sample of, but I am going to make one, is a design I've done for Rib magazine. It's called the Hal's Cowl, and I will link to it below. And that is knit in Shetland Heritage, and it's a like circle scarf, kind of shorter than that, but it has a twist in it, and then so it's kind of already twisted when you put it on. So that is going to be in Rib magazine, which I'm not sure exactly when it comes out, but I will share when it does. And yeah, I think that's really everything. I just haven't been knitting too much at the moment. Just with Wool Week and everything, it kind of just takes over your life a little bit. But now we're getting into it being rather chilly. and dark at nights, so I'll be getting back into it. But yeah, so hope you've enjoyed looking at some of the stuff I managed to amass over a week-ish time. Quite a feat actually, considering I was working every day, and we didn't even leave for dinner because it was so busy. We just had a little break, and yeah, I managed to get all that, so I think that's pretty good. Yeah, so I will speak to you all soon, and thank you for watching. Bye.